I'm excited to be able to be here and relish over God's word with you this morning. If you'll allow me to have one more prayer. Father God, as we unpack your word, Lord, we're really taking a journey with our heart. And these are going to be strong words that are going to address things in our heart. Lord, I just pray that your Holy Spirit casts light in those areas in our heart where maybe we could be strengthened, and encourage us in areas where maybe we just feel like we don't have the strength to do that. Draw us closer to you in areas where we didn't realize we were missing time with you. And Lord, forgive us in places that are broken that only you can heal. Thank you so much, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Love never fails. What a wonderful subject. Real quick before I start on the subject, just a couple things I want to talk about is this is not a Presbyterian message. This is not a Baptist message. This is not a message from Bayside. This is a Christian message. This is an Adventist message. This is a last day message. This is a message that Daniel was thinking about before he was going to be thrown in that lion's den. This is a message that Jacob was pulling into his heart and drawing on to as he was wrestling with that angel through Jacob's trouble. And as we go through these little aspects of love, I've given this message several times. I'm sitting here and I'm walking through this message with you. Every time I give it, I'm just walking. I have not heard this. I've not gone over these words and thought, I've got this. So as you're hearing it, as we're dwelling on God's word together, if you feel beat up, it's my fault. Okay, that's why they don't pay me to do this. Okay, that's why I volunteer. I'm not a professional. These are areas where we need to be strengthened. And then if it feel, here you're talking about patience, Brother Joe. I don't know about patience. Where am I supposed to have more of that? So things I'm not going to cover today. Okay, we're focusing on love today. Things I'm not going to cover. I'm not going to cover abiding with Jesus, abiding with God. Okay, where do we get the strength to do this? I wish there was time to do a whole message on abiding with God. We need to do that. I'm not going to cover it today. Might need to go after this. I need to go and find a message on abiding with God. And then there's, Joe, we're living in perilous times. We need to be coming out of Babylon. We need to be addressing sin. I'm not going to cover that today. Is that important? Do we need to address the sin in our heart? Absolutely. Talking about this stuff, talking about love, I can tell my wife and be the best husband in the whole world. I love her. I care about her. I have patience with her. I'm kind with her. But if I'm cheating on her, all of a sudden it doesn't matter. All the love in the world doesn't matter. But I'm not going to talk about that part of this message today. So do you see there's different parts? But that doesn't dismiss the importance of this. Why do we do it? Why do we spend all this Christian time in the gym to strengthen us, to grow, to fast, to give God the most, sometimes the embarrassing parts of our hearts and our minds and come to him and talk to him about? Why do we do that? Why do we rest? Is for this. This is the cherry on the top. This is the reason. This is the reason we fight. This is the reason we care. This is the reason we stand for the things that we stand for. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's unpack this a little bit. Okay. Love is long-suffering. Love is patient. Okay. What does that mean to be patient? Right? I want the Walmart of life. I want to be able to walk in, and I want it, and I want to be able to have it right now. Okay, well, in heaven, I don't need to be patient anymore. I'm just going to have everything I need, right? I want you to imagine me and Brian. Okay, we're in heaven. I'm visiting with Brian. And Brian tells me while we're in heaven, he says, Joe, I need to go ask Jesus a question. And I'm going to be like, Brian, where are you going? You're going to ask Jesus a question? We're in heaven. There's no sin. Yeah, I need to go ask Jesus a question. Do you know how long the line is to talk to Jesus? You're going to be gone for a very long time. And I love being in heaven with you. I'm going to be sad when he leaves. Am I sad because I'm filled with sin? No. Am I sad because I don't think he's going to come back? No. I'm going to be sad because my friend's not here. Patience is not something that only applies to this life. We need to grow patience. It's a tool. It's not an easy tool. What does patient mean? Patient means I want it now, but I can't have it now. Is it wrong that I can't have it now? No, it's just the way life works sometimes. And so sometimes, what does that mean when I want it now and I can't have it now? It means I feel kind of unhappy. I kind of feel like something's missing. I feel like there's something not where it's supposed to be. I'm uncomfortable. Lord, help me to have more patience to be okay with being uncomfortable. Does that make sense? And that doesn't come, I don't quit smoking. I've quit smoking. I don't smoke anymore. And all of a sudden, I haven't smoked in 10 years. Now I'm patient. Have you had that experience? That hasn't happened to me, right? That's not how it works. I need to say, Lord, help me to be patient, right? Because love is patient. All these things are love. There's aspects of love. These are beautiful things. And so as I love someone, praise the Lord, if I have more patience with that person, they will maybe feel more love, right? This isn't, it ain't good enough to go to heaven, Joe. That's not what this message is about, right? There's people in our lives that they're never going to walk through those doors. To find Jesus, they're never going to walk through those doors. But you know who they're going to encounter? You know who they deal with? You know who they talk to? You. They encounter Jesus when they're around you. Lord, I need more patience. That person over there is going to want to come to me to feel the presence of Jesus. Lord, I need more patience. Please give me more patience. And it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen because you heard this sermon. This is a sermon about going back and doing homework on my heart. Okay? So let's keep going, right? These are I hope you feel these are beautiful things, right? I hope that you look at, that's what you want me to develop, Lord? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a beautiful thing? Next point. Love is kind. Love is kind. Boy, atheists are nice. You can be an atheist and you be kind. What is that? Why is that in here, right? This isn't talking about, I walk through a door. I'm just at the mall, and somebody opens a door for me. I say, oh, thank you so much. Now you walk through the door. You don't have to be a Christian to do that. This is talking about being kind when it's not easy. This is talking about being kind when it's tough. That's where I need to learn to be kind and to still smile when it's not easy to smile. And for someone to feel that, sense that presence that when they're around Joe, that they're happy to be there, that they feel a kindness. And it's not always easy to be around Joe. Joe struggles, and Joe has hard days, and Joe's tired and sweats. And I need to go, Lord, help me to be kind right now. Now, it's so easy to sit in the pew. Did you hear that song that those guys sung today? Those guys fell from heaven. That was the sound. That was a window in heaven opened up. I wish that song just shined through me all day long. It doesn't. But is it because Joe's broken? Joe can't be kind? No. I need to go to the well. Lord, let me spend time with you so I can have that kindness, build that within me. When Peter, the cock had crowed the third time, and Peter had fallen and crossed the line, Jesus did not look at him with a, I told you so. Could Jesus have done that? That wasn't the look that Jesus gave. It wasn't, I told you so. It was a look of kindness, of, I'm so sorry that you're not aware that you were going to break. It was this look of kindness. And that look shattered and changed Peter's life. Kindness is powerful and life-changing in hard times, not when it's convenient. Help me, Lord. Help me to be more kind. Love does not brag. Oh my goodness. You ever been at a birthday party, especially for like a little 2-year-old, and you're sitting there and they've got all the presents and the 2-year-old's going like this, right? And they're having fun with the paper, right? They just think the paper's the best thing. And your bag is sitting right there, or someone's bag is sitting right there, and the 2-year-old's still playing with the bag, and everyone's like, hey, come on, there's more. And the 2-year-old's like, and they go and they just start doing this with the paper. And someone says, yeah, I got him that. Right? I got him that. That's not love. What do you mean it's not love? I just bought him something. You just blew it, Joe. You just blew it by saying that you got it for him. Because if it was love, that part doesn't matter. Is that what matters, Joe? That Joe gets the acknowledgement? That Joe gets the credit? That we all need to put up a sign, Joe got that present right over there. Why did you get the present, Joe? Did you need to feel special? Is that why you got it? Don't show up without a present. Or does that person need to feel love? And they're not going to find any real love in this world except for maybe with me, a little time with me. And whether or not they acknowledge it or realize it, was that important? Maybe today isn't the day they realize it, right? That's not for me to decide. What a beautiful thing that God's encouraging me to do. To die a little bit more to self and to acknowledge others as more than me. Isn't that beautiful? Because everyone's precious. And you know, this is almost like a secret. Most people don't feel important. They may not tell you that most people don't feel important. They're thirsting for real love. Not for Joe to get credit that he gave love. I hope you don't feel beat up. I hope you're feeling that this is, yes, I need to work on that. Help me, Lord. Help me, Jesus. This is a wonderful thing. If you feel beat up, it's because I don't do it well, okay? Blame it on the fact that hey, keep your day job, Joe, okay? Praise the Lord. Love is not arrogant. Sometimes I know more than that person. It's very, very rare, but sometimes I do know more than that person. Sometimes I'm stronger than that person. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes I actually have more than that person. That's the reality. And the reality is sometimes when I know a little more, and sometimes when I have a little bit more, this feeling comes out of nowhere. I don't know what it is. And I feel like doing this. And I feel like puffing out my chest. Is the Lord asking me to do that? That happens. It's a reality of life. It happens. But is the Lord asking me to do that? Is that okay? Because I'll tell you what, I've done that. I've puffed up my chest. And why are you running away? Why are you feeling bad? Why aren't you not feeling loved? Why is it all about Joe? Right? What does the Lord ask me to do? What did Jesus do? Wasn't it incredible? I love the conversation that Jesus is sitting there having with his disciples, and they're talking about who do people say that I am? Wasn't that a wonderful conversation? I love that conversation. Well, some say you're that prophet. Some say you're Elias. Who do you say that I am? And then Peter says, "You're the Christ." Isn't it funny that even Peter didn't truly understand who he was talking to? Yeah, he's the Christ. No. He's the creator of the entire universe. Did Jesus set him straight? Hey, boy, let me explain it to you. Let me tell you something. The story of Jesus was written almost 2,000 years something years ago, right? We're still reading it today like it's, Brian was just bragging about in Sabbath school class how he spent 5 years in the gospel. The whole time he spent 5 years in the gospel. It didn't get old. It kept showing him things. He kept spending time with Jesus and going, whoa, I didn't see that in me. Was it because Jesus was the top of the mountain? No, look at this story of this very humble person. It's incredible. And yet I feel like in my humanity and my brokenness that in order for someone to know who they're talking to, let me tell you, my title where I work is this, how much I have in my bank is this, how much I can bench press is this. I feel it. I feel it coming inside of me. I'm sitting there having a conversation. 2 guys are sitting there talking about how much they lift, and I'm like, I want to tell them how much I lift. Lord, help me to spend time with you, and just help me kill that. Because then I'm ruining love. I'm ruining an opportunity to love someone. I want them to feel loved. They don't need some acknowledgement of how much I have and what I can do. That's not love. I blew it. As soon as I did that, I blew it. Here I am, and I'm a guy, so I upset my wife a lot. I know none of you do that, but I do. And I've walked away going, what'd I say? What'd I do? And sometimes can we replay back some of the conversations, the words that came out of our mouths, and realize, oh, that's what I said. Oh. Because sometimes you feel like you're loving somebody. Doesn't it feel like I was trying to help you? You know how much I lift? You blew it, Joe. Love is not arrogant, but is the conversation important? Yeah. Is being present and saying and being part of the conversation important? Yeah. Is being involved important? But do these things well up in our hearts that come out and ruin all the work that we did? It happens. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord, to spend more time with you. And not need the acknowledgement of the person I'm trying to love. I don't need their acknowledgement. I just need an opportunity. I just need an opportunity to talk and to love them and to be a part of their lives. That's what I need. Help me, Lord. Make it not about Joe. Love is not provoked. I'm teaching this the best that I know how. I know that we need to go and knock on doors and we need to spread the message. And I'm not saying that there isn't a time to be assertive. Okay? So I'm teaching this the best the way I know how. But love is not provoked. Love does not push buttons. Okay? And yet sometimes do I want to push buttons in the person that I'm working with, the person I'm connecting with? Do I want to get a result out of them? Do I want to get them to jump through a hoop and do something? Yes. Sometimes I want I want a hug from my wife right now. And she may not be ready to give me a hug. I'm sitting there and go visit my grandchildren. I flew all the way to Alaska to go see them. I paid all this money. I get off the plane. I'm like, they're going over there to hug Grandma. Come here. Boy, you need to come over here. I spent a lot of money to come see you. I'm offended. Is that love? No. And we can ruin love by poking somebody and saying, I need you to jump through my hoops. Jump over and go do the thing I need you to do. Mom, Dad, I need you to do the thing I want you to do. Child, I need you to go clean up your room. I'm not saying don't parent, but there's a difference between parenting, policing. Police officers need to do their jobs. Parents need to do their jobs. Principals need to do that. And sometimes there's such a thing as tough love and drawing the line. But drawing a line is not pushing and poking someone to get them to do. Does that make sense? Accountability is not forcing someone to do something. Sadly, someday someone's going to try to force us to do something. And in their minds, they're going to think it's a good thing. And that, despite the goodness of their nature and what they're trying to accomplish, is not love. I want to participate in love. Lord, I want people to know love. I want them to, when I'm around, I want them to feel love. Stop poking them in the face, Joe. They're not feeling it. Now, there's some inspiring, not everything's a you're in trouble, Joe conversation. I'm going to skip here a little bit to the end here. Love does not rejoice in unrighteousness. You know, sometimes when someone falls down the stairs, it's funny. And I feel bad. I feel bad when I'm laughing at somebody and they did something kind of wrong and silly. But I could be blowing my opportunity for love. Am I asking the Lord, going back to what I talked about at the beginning, I don't have a lot of time to talk about it now, but am I doing things in my heart so that my heart is clean, right? So my heart is clean, so am I addressing sin? Am I taking care of it? And then once that's taken care of, and I've got my fence, and I'm over here, sin's over here, I'm over here, I was walking towards sin, I've now turned around, I'm walking towards the Lord, and now am I abiding in Jesus so that when I see unrighteousness, I see something I don't want to have anything to do with. If I'm watching someone fall and I'm laughing at it, is it possible that I need to address something in my heart and going, why do I think that's funny? Why do I think that's good? I'm going to confess some silly, horrible thing I was doing. I'm sitting there, I'm listening to Desire of Ages in my ears, and I'm running at the gym, and this thought occurred to me. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do a walkthrough through one of those video games, where they're like going around shooting stuff. I'm going to do that. And I'm sitting there listening to the love of Jesus while I'm watching this person shoot people. And I'm sitting there, and I'm running, and I'm hearing about this, just the tears of Jesus falling down. This guy goes, pew, pew, and somebody falls down. And I'm like, I can't mix these two things together. I just can't. I just can't. I can't be in the same room. I can't. I got to turn this off. Or I got to turn this off. Who's going to make a choice? I'm going to turn that off. I want to keep listening to this. Now, do I always want to go listen to Scripture? No. I see some of you starting to nod off as I'm talking. You're not nodding off because I'm a terrible speaker. I'm terrible at a lot of things. Speaking's not one of them. You're nodding off because this is hard. Loving is hard. Tapping and saying, Lord, I need to bring you into my... If it happened all by itself, we wouldn't need to be here. I need to be here. I love talking about this stuff. I need to be here. I need to hear. I want to sit here and listen to this sermon. Somebody else could give it. I need to hear these words. I need to hear about the love of God. And I want unrighteousness to feel uncomfortable when I see it. And for it to not be something that makes sense to me. and for it to not be something I'm comfortable with. Our conversation is in heaven, right? Ten more minutes. Almost done. Love believes all things. This is a tough one. Love believes all things. The best story I got. This is the best story I got. Again, this is scratching the surface. These are deep subjects that we all need to. The purpose of a sermon is to say, I need to go back and dig and figure out what does that mean, okay? We're just scratching the surface. But do you remember the story of Uriah? David had taken his wife, and we need Uriah to not be around anymore. And David hands Uriah the orders to kill Uriah. All Uriah would have had to do is read that. And he would have went, well, something ain't right. Uriah didn't do that. It's not his job to read that. Here he is, and he's traveling across the country with the orders for his death. I am not saying I'm there yet, okay? This is not you've arrived. I've quit smoking so I can do this. No, this is hard. This is real stuff. But do I want to be like Uriah? Do I want to have the faith of Uriah, where he was at home and he could be with his obviously drop-dead gorgeous wife that was so beautiful, the king had to have her. And he said, no, I'm going to sleep outside because my men are sleeping in the dirt. And right now, if they're sleeping in the dirt, I'm sleeping in the dirt. Because in spirit, we're one. Didn't mean he didn't love his wife. Do I want to have that heart for my church family? That kind of heart for what's going on and the things that are coming? Do I want to have that? I do. Well, one of the results of that is to have faith and believe that even if he's carrying the orders for his own death, that's God's will. I'm not sitting up here telling you that I have that. I'm just sitting here reading it going, it's awesome. I can only hope you agree. God, help me to have that. And there's only one way to have that. There's got to be a connection with God. John chapter 14, 15, and 16. I can't cover it today. Go back and read John 14, 15, book of Philippians. How do I connect with God? How do I do that? So that I have this faith and this love that is incredible. And when people see it, they go, I don't know what that was, but I got to have some of that. Because you don't see that anywhere else. But I see it when I'm with my brothers and sisters here, right? Love never fails. That's either true or it isn't. That's the best I have for that. I want to ask the Lord to help me to believe that. I don't always believe that. I'll tell you one quick story. A story that has bothered me. And I feel like I've been giving myself more to the Lord, and like light bulbs have been going off in my head. I'm in my 50s, and there's things like, I wish I'd known this stuff so I could have taught it to my kids when I was a parent. And it's like, now I'm this old man, and things are just clicking just now. But you ever hear the story of Abraham, and he's got to sacrifice his kid? Like, I know that's in the Bible. I know that's God's will. And that story has always bothered me. I don't know about you, but that story is like, that God, why would you ask him to do that? That story has never sat well with me. Where did that come from? And then God gave me a thought. I'm just sharing it with you. This is out of the book of Joe. But my mind exploded when I. Does that make you uncomfortable, Joe? Yeah, Lord. I don't like that story. That is my least favorite story in the Bible. You don't like that story? No. But you're okay if that's my son. Then you're okay with it. Oh, Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm ever okay with that. I don't like to read. I'm going to read this to you because it's so powerful. I'm only reading it because it's powerful. I'm almost done. That's one page. I'm almost done, I promise. The Lord has given to every man his work. It is his business to do it, and the devil's business to hinder him if he can. So surely as God has given you a work to do, Satan will try to hinder you. He may present other things more promising. He may allure you by worldly prospects. He may assault you with slander, torment you with false accusations, set you to defend your character, employ pious persons to lie about you, editors to assail you, excellent men to slander you. You may have Pilate and Herod, Ananias and Caiaphas all combined against you, and Judas standing by, ready to sell you for 30 pieces of silver, and you may wonder, why are all these things come upon you? Can you not see that the whole thing is brought about through the craft of the devil to draw you off from your work and hinder your obedience to God? Keep about your work. Keep about your work that God has given you. Do not flinch because the lion roars. Do not stop to stone the devil's dogs. Do not fool away your time chasing the devil's rabbits. Keep about your work. Let liars lie. Let corporations resolve. Let the devil do his worst. But see to it that nothing hinders you from fulfilling the work that God has given you. Keep about your work. He has not commanded you to get rich. He has never bidden you to defend your character. He has not set you to work to contradict falsehoods about yourself, which Satan and his servants may start to peddle. If you do those things, you will do nothing else. You will be at the work for yourself and not the Lord. Let your aim be as steady as a star. Keep about your work. You may be assaulted, wronged, insulted, slandered, wounded, rejected. You may be abused by foes, forsaken by friends, and despised and rejected of men. But see to it with steadfast determination, with unfaltering zeal, that you pursue the great purpose of your life and the object of your being, until at last you can say, I have finished the work which you have given me to do.